Now, just look at this account. We've incurred actually $1,200 of overhead costs, and we've applied $1,000 of overhead. So we would describe that as being underapplied. Our overhead is underapplied. So how do we fix it? Well, as costs move into work in process, they accumulate here, and as we finish goods, those costs move over to finished goods. And as we sell the finished goods, they move over to cost of goods sold and are then picked up and put on the income statement as cost of goods sold. If we apply $1,000 of cost to work in process when we actually had $1,200 of cost, what we're doing is we're showing work in process at $200 less than it should be. We ought to put another $200 here, and when those goods are finished goods ought to contain $200 more than it's going to. And when we sell those finished goods, cost of goods sold is going to be $200 less than it ought to be. So this account is just a place to accumulate costs until we apply them to work in process. So we want this account at the end to not have a balance. Well, it's got a $200 debit balance, so what we do is we credit overhead and we debit cost of goods sold. And that will fix the problem. Our cost of goods sold ought to be $200 higher than it would otherwise be, and our overhead account has a $200 debit balance, which it shouldn't have if we applied everything that we incurred. So we'll fix the problem by eliminating the overhead balance and moving the excess that we had over into cost of goods sold to increase cost of goods sold. Let's try something else. Let's say that instead of getting our labor right, we got it wrong, that it was actually we actually had $125 of direct labor costs, and that we got our total overhead correct, that we actually did end up incurring $1,000 of overhead cost. So if we had known that's what was going to happen, we would have set our overhead rate at $8, but we didn't. We got it wrong, and we set our overhead rate at $10 instead of $8.